Hi everyone, my name is Justine Martinez and my career presentation is going to be on the subject of becoming a comparative psychologist. I will be touching on key points such as a description of what someone does in this career and an exhaustive explanation of educational requirements, also a description of the necessary skills for this career, as well as a roadmap for this career in a little bit more detail. Also, I will be talking about the different opportunities for growth and advancement in this career, as well as the salary information and what areas in the country this career might be available. And last but not least, I will touch on my opinion on whether or not I would like to work in this career path. And the last slide will be the citation for all the information that I provided to you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the PowerPoint. So the first slide is going to talk about what does a comparative psychologist do. So they research and study in order to understand the ultimate basis of behavioral diversity of different animal groups. A little more into detail on what they study exactly is the communication, the cognition, the recognition, and social and sensory systems. Through their studies, they study the similarities and differences between animal species, which then helps provide insight into human psychology. Also, they observe the concepts such as heredity, adaptation, evolution, and mating behaviors, among others. Along with a little bit more into detail on what they study and what they do exactly is they create experiments to advance sciences, understanding the animals more, and they develop and catalog even deeper understandings of animal traits and mental processes, which then they share with others such as people that are researching, other psychologists, their colleagues, or even students as you and I that are doing research and doing a project on what they do exactly. Also, they observe behavior and traits to develop theories about the evolutionary development. And last but definitely not least, they compose scholarly papers that increase the overall understanding for scenarios and situations just like us students, like I mentioned previously. So on this slide, I'm sharing a YouTube video called A Look at Comparative Psychology by Rachel Christiansen, and she kind of just dials in on everything that I summed up throughout my presentation on comparative psychologists and what they do exactly and why we study animals in general. Her 3 common reasons are 1, curiosity, what makes humans different from animals, why does your dog chase his or her tail, or why does it bark, why does it stare at you, why does it do such things that we're not very aware of why they do them. And number 2, conservation and animal welfare. So we're losing a lot of wildlife and habitat, and a lot of animals are going extinct nowadays. So therefore, a lot of zoos, for example, are very desperate to establish some captive breeding programs so that if an animal does go extinct in the wild, at least it's alive and living somewhere in these zoos. So therefore, they create breeding programs for this reason. Her 3rd reason she shares is human medical advancement. A little more deeper into the video, she talks about what comparative psychology is, and her definition she gave us was the study of behavior with the goal of discovering general principles that apply to all animals. She also answers the questions of how did the behavior evolve, why does the behavior exist, how did the behavior develop, and what causes the behavior. A little bit more key concepts she touches on is about mere self-recognition, the perception, the learning, and communication. So the communication occurs when an animal intentionally provides information to a receiver that will benefit from both parties. Lastly, she talks about some problems that can occur. So 4 of them that she gave was behavior is a result of experience and varies widely between individuals. Also, early environment affects brain development, as well as social animals raised in isolation may behave abnormally. And lastly, we do not understand which factors of the environment affect the development of specific cognitive abilities. So you guys may be thinking, so what does a day in the life of a comparative psychologist do on a daily basis? So the daily activities may consist of several things depending on the environment they are studying at or working at. So routines such as designing experiments, gathering animal or human subjects, conducting the experiments, documenting observations, collating data, examining the evidence for a certain outcome, writing up and sharing their findings, also teaching students and attending seminars. These are different things that comparative psychologists go through throughout their daily routine. Some may take longer than others, some may not, some may be easier or difficult than others, and it all just depends on the amount of research that they're doing and what animals specifically they're trying to research upon. So what is a comparative psychologist's work settings? It can be one of several environments. It can be a private research lab with a team of other colleagues or psychologists. It can be in natural habitats of animals such as zoos or a jungle or an aquarium. Often in universities and research laboratories, as well as independent practices. Mostly their settings require access to research materials in order to study the behavior and cognition of animal groups. So therefore, if they're provided with all the adequate materials in order to complete their research efficiently, then their environment is mostly complete. So in this slide, we're going to talk about the educational requirements. So first things first, you choose an undergraduate program, preferably in the psychology field. Then you'll need to enroll in specific courses such as biopsychology, evolutionary psychology, psychological research studies. Then after that, you must obtain and complete a bachelor's degree, preferably majoring in psychology as mentioned previously. Then you'll need to obtain a master's degree at an average GPA of 3.0 recommended. There are also graduate programs depending where you apply that focus specifically on comparative psychology, but research the undergraduate programs needed for the graduate school admission first things first. So a little more on the educational requirements consist of internships, may also be very vital for this profession. They will last at least around 8 weeks approximately. They focus on extensive research procedures and consist of interaction with various animals. This is more of a hands-on experience, which will heighten your analytical skills in research and allow you to see first thing first and how everything goes, how research is, and it's just mostly for that automatic touch and, like I mentioned, the hands-on learning and visual learning. If you're more a visual learner versus reading a book or material, this is more for you, internships. So what are the necessary skills for this profession? First is to understand the human and animal behavior. Secondly is the proficiency with the scientific method. Also, the ability to work well and communicate with colleagues, as well as the compassion and sympathy for animals. Nonetheless, is for good command of math and statistical methods. Lastly, excellent written and oral communication skills. All of these of which are very vital and essential for this profession, just so that you are able to report, you're able to share, you're able to research everything properly and share all of your results in an efficient manner. So on this slide, I'm going to talk about the roadmap to this career path. The way I kind of formatted this slide is with the help of research of my own, as well as a little bit of my own suggestion and advice, all put into one. So first thing first is set your goals. It's always great to set goals when you're trying to succeed in a certain career, a certain job, a certain mission of your own. Goals are what make you strive to complete the mission, technically. So step 1 I provided is apply for an undergraduate program for psychology. Step 2, enroll in adequate classes that are needed to succeed in the field. Step 3, complete all of the courses. Step 4, apply for a master's program in the field of comparative psychology. Step 5, take higher leveled courses needed and complete them. Step 6, secure an internship in this field to gain experience to put on your resume. Step 7, research a potential job that you can get into straight out of college to put your knowledge to work. And step 8, stay persistent on your goals. Make sure you are networking with one another psychologists, your colleagues, networking in general with people that you meet to help secure your career. So in this slide, I'm going to talk about the opportunities for growth and advancement in this career. One is you can start your own private practice and share your knowledge and what you've learned, your research, and publish your own research through your own private practice. You can also even hire other psychologists to come and work for you and you guys can do research together or just provide more comparative psychologists at your own practice. Also, once you get licensed and hold the title of being a psychologist, you can then conduct experiments and lead research studies as well as publish them, as I previously mentioned. Also, you can obtain a PhD for further career opportunities that a master's degree cannot withhold. Last but not least, the higher the degree you go for, you can continue learning and enduring the new technology or techniques used to study animal behavior that is either new or has been improved since the last time you studied. So on this slide, we're going to talk about the information about salary. So how much does a comparative psychologist make, and in what different environments do they make such and such amount of money? Is a different environment vital to how much they make? It's a very important part and category of this presentation just because you're going into a career that you want to be successful. You want to be able to make good money in order to survive in this world that we live in. So, first thing first, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, comparative psychologists earned on average salary of $98,230 as of May of 2019. Other areas of this research earn, such as colleges, universities, and professional schools, earn $85,000. General medical and surgical hospitals, $92,560. Federal government, $94,670. Specialty hospitals earn $92,610. And lastly, management, scientific, and technical consulting services earn $115,360. Where is this career available? So this career is available in several different states and countries. A few I'm going to name below, and the amount of money that they make and what they are ranked upon. So first is Arizona. They make $54,000 and ranked 43rd. Illinois is $75,000 and ranked 50th. Maine is $58,000 and ranked 35th. New Mexico is $57,000 and ranked 41st. Oregon is $63,000 and ranked 24th, and Wisconsin is $58,000, same as Maine, but ranked 38th. All of which vary in average percentages of their salaries for job postings nationwide. Lastly, my opinion on this career. Would I like to do this job? Why or why not? So my answer is yes, for several different reasons. One is because I enjoy animals and have such a big heart for them. Also, I find it very intriguing how every animal has their own unique characteristics and traits. I find it very mind-blowing actually that dogs, birds, lizards, monkeys, koalas, all kinds of animals that are born into this world have different developmental traits, have different behaviors, have different triggers, and look all differently as a whole, and understand as humans and the way we behave and have a correlation towards them. I think that's just so intriguing to me. Also, I would like to become more knowledgeable on animal behavior and the meaning behind it so that I myself can know why my dog's tail wags, or why my dog is staring at me, or why my dog is barking at a door. So I'm aware of what is going through their mind at the same time as they're wondering what's probably going through our minds. Also, I find it very interesting to research about the human mind in general and the abilities, so I can only imagine how interesting it is to know the animal behavior aspect. My last two reasons are helps me connect more with more than one species. So I have a dog of my own. He's a Maltipoo. His name is Ryder. And I find it so intriguing how he reacts to certain things, his behavior, and my connection with him. And he knows and he can read my vibe. I find that so interesting. And this career path will totally help me understand my dog more and even other animals that I come in contact with. And most of all, understand the importance behind our evolutionary history and how an animal over the years and has developed in every bits and pieces of knowing about how it lives, just as us humans are. I find it very interesting. So, yes, I would definitely like to do this job.